Matt Karstens. It is my strident opinion. That's good. I like strident opinions, Matt. That as soon as you put on a badge, hold office, or on the public dole, you are a public servant, and as such do not hold the same rights as a private citizen. At the very least, stripping away an inherent right for public servants to have free speech or bear arms, or even protect them from unreasonable search and seizure, and instead be at the mercy of the government, should deter people from wanting to be part of the cancer. Do you agree, or is this too extreme? I think it's a little, I hate to be Mr. Contrary today, but I think it's, I think it's certainly too extreme. I don't think you have to give up your rights to, as an American, to be part of the American government. On the contrary, I think that sure would be nice if everybody became a member of the American government on some level or another, had some fundamental understanding of what these rights are in the first place. There is, as Mark Viciti points out in the response there, that there is a case or two where this is in fact what does happen, and obviously the big one is the military, where you join the military, you are essentially voluntarily giving up your freedom of action, you're giving up your freedom of speech, you're giving up your a number of freedoms. You are essentially assuming many of the burdens that we apply to criminals. Your freedom of action is being taken away. Your freedom to say what you want, as I say, is being taken away. That's why I hold military people in such high esteem, because that is a heavy price to pay, especially when you are not forced to pay it, and especially when you do it for such appalling pay and horrible living conditions, and more frequently, the general opprobrium of the chattering classes of those beautiful people just over the hill are so much better than the rest of us. This thing was the same thing with the policing. We were talking about that woman who got shot in her car, and on the Hot Mike show, we talked about this guy. This police officer put up a Facebook post saying, "Where are the celebrities? Where are the celebrities talking about her being murdered?" Well, they're not there, sir, and they're not going to be there. And I was talking with the sheriff of Tarrant County yesterday, and he said a lot of people are asking, why would you even go into law enforcement anymore? I mean, if you're not going to get backed by the people, if you're not going to get backed by the president, the government, if you're not allowed to do your job, and if in fact you're being constantly vilified by people like Beyonce and all the rest of them, then why would you do it? And he's right. Why would you do it? And thank God that there are people out there whose sense of not just patriotism, but their sense of civilization and law and order and so on are so strong that they're willing to continue to work in the military and law enforcement. Although my understanding, having come from many different places, is that it is a much better ball game now than it was a year ago. And God only knows what it would have been like under Hillary Clinton, who, for all of her manifest faults and real, genuinely disgusting personality, I find her treatment of her security forces to be the single most repugnant thing about that repugnant woman. Shut up! Who the F are you? These are people who've made a commitment to protect her life, and she treats them like dirt. And of all the things about that woman that I despise, that's the top of the list. Her just utter disregard for the people in law enforcement and the military, Secret Service, all of them. She's a miserable, horrible, horrible, horrible person. Horrible. And we are very, very lucky that no matter what happens with this president, we're very, very, very lucky that we didn't have to see what she was about to do to this country. Because there's never been somebody, I don't think anybody would have ever gone into the office as corrupt as Hillary Clinton, and I don't think anybody would have come out as corrupt as she was going in. You really have to go back to Boss Tweed and other Democrats to find that kind of corruption. Yeah, hopefully that'll do it.